Fallout 4 gets a bad rap for not being as much of a hellscape as previous Fallout games, saying that it's too kid-friendly, that it's not grisly enough, that the previous installments do a better job at portraying a collapsed civilization. And to a point, that's right. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are more bold and in your face for showing you the grotesqueness of the apocalypse. If you know, you know. And I think the Fallout 4 shows it also, but just with more finesse. By that I mean you just have to look for it. That's right, it's another environmental storytelling video. Now right off the bat, I just think it is interesting that if I showed you a color palette, you would automatically think of one of the previously mentioned games. And granted, these palettes do a good job at establishing the overall mood of the games. I believe the kids call that a vibe. So when you stumble upon the avant-garde lifestyle of a wasteland raider, you don't even bat an eye at what you're witnessing. You just think, yeah, that checks out. But what's interesting is the Fallout 4 doesn't have a distinct color palette. It just has more color, full stop. Color equals life, but Apocalypse does not equal life. So it's an interesting choice for a game of this nature to be so colorful. Yet Fallout 4 still has more than its fair share of fatal attractions, if you will. So where are they? Where are all these horrific scenes that show the cruelties of catastrophe? Let me show you a few. One thing that I think is interesting in video games is kids. Hold on, let me start that over.
What did you mean by that?
It's not illegal, but in general I say it's bad to show dead kids in any form of media. The best thing you could do for a storytelling standpoint is imply it. I feel like I'm losing you by talking about dead kids as my first example. Here behind this fusion generator, you see everything that a kid needs. A chessboard, a tea set for a tea party, toothbrush and toothpaste, and it's all secluded from the rest of the room. Like the child was placed here to be protected from whatever was going on at the time. Was this temporary, or was this like the kid's room? Now this is where you find out if you're a glass half empty or glass half full kind of mind. Does your brain jump to the conclusion that the kid made it out with their family? Like this was a get up and go kind of situation? Or was this the kid's last play date? Like I've said in a previous video, the outcome of the story is up to you. And that's the thing that makes video games like this so personal. You make connections with this reality, and that's what keeps you coming back to play this game for the 50th time. It's hard to say definitely what happened here, because like I said, you usually don't show dead kids. I think there's only one instance of a kid-sized skeleton in this game, and surely more kids than that have died in this world, right?
What kind of a thing is that to say?
I gotta change the subject. What other points can I make? Ah, this one's fun. So if you go to Aldersea Day Spa in Far Harbor, there's this group of skeletons soaking it up in the sauna. This is another scene that's really going to test your psyche. Do you just see 3 skeletons hanging out and gravity just happens to land one in a very suggestive position? Or is your mind in the gutter and what you see here is some kind of voyeuristic love triangle? Maybe the 3 people suddenly bit the dust while one of them was getting his towel wrung dry, while the other watched while being drawn like one of DiCaprio's French girls. The door was right there, so I hope these people had more decency than that. But if I'm right, then that just goes to show what kind of spa Aldersea Day Spa was. I gotta have an example here that isn't about dead children or fellatio. Guess they are kind of related in a way though. Now, it wouldn't be a Fallout game without a skeletal couple holding hands in bed together. The sole survivor would stumble upon this scene and would be proud by all the past times when they were in the same position with their spouse. Except alive. And it would be a staunch reminder that the word forever isn't a word meant for people and places. It's meant for memories. And that's a valuable lesson that unfortunately all of us learn at some point in this game we call life. But there's some kind of inherent beauty about a scene like this, because despite all the terror and panic that you can't even imagine that comes with a nuclear war, love won in this instance. And it needs to win more these days.
Oh, it's so cheesy.
Just ignore the drugs on the side of the bed. It would totally undermine the heartfelt point I was trying to make if these people were just zoinked out of their minds instead. But this brings me to my conclusion. Time moves forward. And there's nothing that we can do about it except help each other along the way. And I think Bethesda knows this. I'm going to make a wild comparison here, so just stick with me a bit longer. Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 are like Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. When Monsters Inc. came out, chances are you were a kid around like 6 years old or so. And the number one question kids that age are asked is, what do you want to be when you grow up? A fun way of asking, how are you going to contribute to the workforce? And it just so happens that Pixar makes a movie about the workforce. Fast forward about 12 years and that same kid is going off to college. And they suddenly have to realistically think about what they want to do with their life. And Pixar just happens to make a movie about those same beloved characters going off to college. It was like Pixar's way of saying, hey, we get it. And it's nice to feel like you aren't alone sometimes. When Fallout 3 came out, maybe you were like a freshman in high school. You listened to bands like Shinedown and Disturbed and Skillet, bands that weren't exactly light. Fast forward about 8 years and Fallout 4 comes out. You got a haircut and now you see the world in a new light and with new colors. But it's still a little dark and it always will be. But now you appreciate the smaller good things in life. And maybe you have a kid now. I don't, but my friend Andrew does, and he plays a lot of Fallout. So maybe he still wants to play Fallout, but now he has a kid running around. And that's why Fallout 4 is more family friendly. You tell me what you would rather have your kid watch. This?
Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of my face. You're joking, right? I mean, I shit bigger than you, kid.
Or that?
Well, hello there, young fella. Welcome to Nuka World.
Because nothing says family bonding better than playing a single player game about the end of humanity. So basically the point that I'm trying to make is that my headcanon is that Pixar and Bethesda understands that their audience grows up as time moves on. And they made stuff to help us along with those various stages in life. And I think that's pretty cool. Just like I think it would be pretty cool if you subscribed. But if you don't want to, that's pretty cool too. Just clicking on my face is awesome enough. Thank you and take care.